A lot of people don't know how we got the Bible. That may be your opinion, and you are at liberty to hold it. I don't agree with you. I do believe, on the other hand, that there is a sense in which the Bible is divinely inspired. Divine inspiration is a wisdom which it's very difficult to put into words, like mystical experience. That's divine inspiration. And a person who writes out of that experience could be said to be divinely inspired. It can hit anyone, anytime, like falling in love. And when it hits you, you know it. That there comes this overwhelming conviction that you have mistaken your identity. What I thought was just old Alan Watts was only completely superficial. That I am an expression of an eternal something or other. And that I suddenly understand why, exactly why everything is the way it is. It's perfectly clear. Furthermore, I feel no longer any boundary between what I do and what happens to me. I feel that everything that's going on is my doing, just as my breathing is. Is your breathing voluntary or involuntary? Do you do it or does it happen to you? So you can feel it both ways. But you feel everything like breathing. There is no longer any separate you. There is just this great happening going on. So you can very well understand how people to whom this happens feel genuinely inspired. Because very often there goes along with it an extremely warm feeling. Because you see the divine in everybody else's eyes, playing out an essential part in this colossal cosmic drama. The apostles didn't quite get the point. They were awed by the miracles of Jesus. They worshipped him as people do worship gurus. And so the Christians said, okay, Jesus of Nazareth was the Son of God, but let it stop right there. Nobody else. So what happened was that Jesus was pedestalized. And those who have had this experience and expressed it during those times when the church had political power were almost invariably persecuted. Gordiano Bruno was burnt at the stake. John Scotus Erigena was excommunicated. Meister Eckhart's theses were condemned. But you see what happens. If you pedestalize Jesus, you strangle the gospel at birth. Gospel means good news. And I cannot for the life of me think what is the good news about the gospel as ordinarily handed down. Here is the revelation of God in Christ, in Jesus. And we are supposed to follow his life and example without having the unique advantage of being the boss's son. The tradition, both Catholic and Protestant fundamentalist, represents Jesus to us as a freak, born of a virgin, knowing he is the Son of God, having the power of miracles, knowing that basically it's impossible to kill him, that he's going to rise again in the end. And we are asked to take up our cross and follow him when we don't know that about ourselves at all.
Please, good people, let's religion not separate us. Let's not
Pay attention to this. Trapped in a clamp-like attack by two snakes, can this catfish escape? A rare scene captured by a tourist in Kanha National Park, India, unfolds. At this moment, the snake pulls the catfish up the rock. From a distance, it seems like the snake has caught the catfish. But upon closer inspection, it turns out the catfish has bitten into the snake. Almost half of the snake's head is held in the catfish's mouth. It writhes in pain, trying to free itself from the large jaws of the catfish, but the catfish holds on tightly. Watching this, I feel a bit queasy again. So is it the snake hunting the catfish or vice versa? It's surprising that the catfish puts up a fierce fight even when not underwater. In this tense moment, another snake, possibly the mate of the remaining snake, joins the battle and disrupts the balance. It crawls in and bites the tail of the catfish. The second snake uses a deadly binding technique, preparing to end the catfish's life. However, the second snake becomes entangled with its own ally. Indeed, enthusiasm and eagerness do not always bring a good outcome. When the old balance is broken, this snake duo establishes a new equilibrium. Yet, it brings double agony to the snake above. After a struggle, exhausted, the second snake releases the binding, while the remaining snake persists above. Truly, I am concerned about the health of the snake above, having to resist the weight of the enthusiastic teammate and the catfish, trapped in the mouth of the catfish, and this place is truly lacking oxygen. So, in your opinion, how will it end? Who will swallow whom in the end?
This dog is going viral, and you could probably guess as to why. I mean, look at the size of the dog. I mean, even the chain around its neck is just absolutely massive, and the owner could be seen feeding the massive dog. I could guarantee you the owner of that dog would say that that dog is the nicest dog in the entire world and he would never bite anyone, but one thing's for sure, I could confidently say that I would never get anywhere near that dog. The owner of the dog uploaded another video showing just how massive the dog's paws are, and I could guarantee you that this is bigger than a lot of people's hands combined. I don't have any problems with big dogs, but honestly I would not like to find out if this dog is nice or not, because just looking at these paws it literally looks like a lion. But you know, everyone is different, and I'm sure those owners absolutely love their massive dog, and they actually have multiple other massive dogs just like the dog in that video. Some are actually even bigger than that dog, which is just absolutely insane to think about. But let me know in the comment section if you would like a dog like this, and what would you do if you were face to face with that dog?
An encounter with that dog could cause a mild heart attack.
This right here has sent me down the deepest rabbit hole. And that's because this is a source of free energy that has a very mysterious history and could be linked to UFOs.
But for several years now, a small group of scientists here has been investigating a strange new space-age metal, a nickel-titanium alloy called nitinol.
In cold water, nitinol turns soft. Bend it and it stays bent, but in hot water it springs back with forces as high as 55 tons a square inch. No one knows quite why this happens. Several years ago, McDonnell Douglas began experimenting with nitinol in the form of springs. At room temperature, the nitinol wire springs bend easily, but in warm water they spring back, thus forcing the wheel around. Even stranger, nitinol wires get stronger the more they're used. They develop a double memory. They not only contract in the warm water, but they begin to stretch of their own accord in the cool water. Nitinol can be trained.
And then there's this document that was written from the Battelle Memorial Institute to the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio in 1949. And of course, the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is known for allegedly storing the crashed UFO that happened in Roswell in 1947, which was just 2 years before this contract was written. And in this document, they're talking about the different alloys that they're testing, and they're giving a progress report on those tests. And at this time, nitinol went by a different name. And a lot of the serious UFO researchers believe that the Battelle Memorial Institute was the organization that was given the contract to examine and test all the metals that were retrieved from the Roswell crash. And one more interesting thing about Battelle is that they are the same organization that invented coating and metals that were used on spy planes that were then later used on the U-2 and the SR-71.
Oh my god, what type of metal is that?
If you see this bird, your day is ruined.
Yeah, Santa, 100% correct. If you see this bird, your day is automatically ruined. Well, not really, but let's explain what's going on here with these types of videos. So this TikTok video here says, so what does this mean, remain calm? And then it shows this bird right here sitting in a tree. All of these videos that show this bird and say remain calm directly stem from this meme right here. Attention, have you seen this bird? Hopefully you have not. This is a passenger pigeon and it is extinct. If you are in fact seeing this bird, you have fallen into some sort of rip in the fabric of time. Remain calm. This is pretty much the exact same as the lepidodendron tree meme. Passenger pigeons went extinct back in 1914 because first off, people were eating them, and second, their habitat was no longer sustainable. These supposed passenger pigeons, though, that people have been seeing are most likely these right here, mourning doves, their closest relative. So don't worry, if you see something that looks like a passenger pigeon, it's probably just a mourning dove, so you can remain calm. And wake up!
Huh? Why does it look so familiar? Oh my god, some of us think holding makes us strong, but sometimes it's letting go. Honestly, yeah. Letting go like of the burdens in your heart by forgiving and bad vibes, that way life becomes easier, you see? And you feel less burdens and free and full of good vibes and love and new energy. Sometimes it's good to let go. It's healthy even for yourself, for your heart, and for your mental. What health? Huh? Okay, that would run, for example. You see?
That does sound hollow. So he just knocked on the door and he said it sounded hollow.
Yeah, because you could tap on it and feel the vibration.
Right. You can tap on it and feel the vibration, guys. He's literally right by the eye hole.
Oh yeah, he's going for it.
Oh no. Oh, Lord, protect him.
Really bad.
It's just so like mossy and slippery, like for him to try to get
his shoes off.
He took his shoes off?
Yeah,
Is
so
he barefoot?
Yeah,
He
so
just
had better grip.
Oh my gosh, he's probably free. His shoes just fell, girl.
No,
No. Oh, I thought I was like, that's his
I think he
shoes.
took his shoes off up there.
Oh, okay.
that
Man.
first ledge. Oh, maybe he might have his shoes on. I don't know. What?
Why is he doing that?
He's trying to see what's inside.
Inside what?
The door, I guess.
Inside the crack in the rock?
I guess, yeah.
So someone put out a TikTok that they saw the door open, and so ever since then, everyone's been coming out here trying to see if it's real or not. If there's a door up there. So supposedly the hinges are on the right, and the door opened, and it was cracked on the left. It got like 6 million views.
What?
And so he's up.
Babe! Sam's yelling at you.
You should have been down here, man.
You don't even have TikTok!
I got you guys! I'm gonna tag you!
So did he find hinges yet?
I'm not sure what. I have no idea what's going on.
Everybody's seen it open. He's gonna be in there.
Jeez, all that stuff falling off.
From there.
He's almost to the bottom. Wow, that actually didn't even take him that long to get down to the bottom of the door.
I'm sure he does. Not the brightest. Not really sometimes.
So where's is he at wherever the monster or whatever the door is?
Yeah.
Giant, yeah, right there. So, okay, he's at the bottom of the door. He made it. Does it feel like the guy that went to the moon for the first time?
He's at the bottom of the door.
He's at the bottom.
He's gonna head down this way into the front to get a different view.
No, but it's gonna be dark here in probably about an hour. Just giving you guys a heads up.
It's gonna be like dark in like an hour and a half.
Probably an hour.
Yeah, we're in a darker valley. It's 3:30.
Oh yeah, it gets dark at like 4:30. Oh.
Could you see the end of it?
Weird.
It's a huge crack.
think that's what he said, yeah. You can't even see the other. Yeah. Okay.
Sounds like it's hollow. Okay, he's like down at the very bottom now. Dude, that is a huge door, dude. Look at how big that is compared to us as humans.
I know, he's like 6 foot tall, so not
Wow.
small.
He's just like roaming around now.
Got him like a blanket.
Yeah, I bet he's freezing. He doesn't have shoes on and he has no coat or anything. I bet he's cold.
His adrenaline's probably going.
Yeah. No big footprints.
Oh my god, huh? That place is really
There's
peculiar.
a shift that is happening right now, and most people are not even aware of it consciously. According to many different sources, such as the Law of One, or the raw materials, the work of Dolores Cannon, Eckhart Tolle, and that of Bashar, all of these sources point to the shift that is happening right now on the planet. And the Dolores Cannon material, it's called the 3D to 5D Earth split, where there is literally an overlay of different realities, and based on our vibration, that is the Earth that we are on. And as time goes on, these Earth dynamic of 3 to 5D levels of consciousness will begin to shift further and further away. Or you could take that as the perspective of Bashar. And what he talks about is the different parallel reality tracks that there are. In a way, there is different, think of it as a train station, different tracks of people on different trains. And for a while, as time goes on, these train tracks run parallel to each other, somewhat close. But as time goes on, they start to split further and further apart to where eventually you must make sure you're on the parallel reality track you want to be based on your energy, because it will be harder and harder to jump to different train tracks. So basically, the name of the game is choose which reality you're in right now, because as time goes on, there's going to be more and more separation between these different realities. So first off, let's get deeper into this to understand what this new Earth is. This idea of a new Earth, Dolores Cannon's material talks about this, and also Eckhart Tolle heavily talks about what is called the new Earth. It's a new level of consciousness that is emerging on the planet. And unless we shift into the vibration of it, we remain tied to the old paradigms. So let's go back to the Dolores Cannon material for a little bit. Dolores Cannon talks about, not even really her talking, it's transcripts of thousands of people all over the world who did not know each other in a deep level of hypnosis, where their higher self and subconscious mind came through to give information out. It's called QHHT, Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. And when people were in this deep level of hypnosis, they could share different aspects from the higher self or the subconscious mind's perspective about their life. For example, why did I incarnate? Who was the relationship with my parents or my brother or different people in my family? Why did I experience certain things growing up? What are the past life connections, or what are the connections that I have to different people in my life? What is the purpose of my life? Things like sharing what we do in dream time. I found that to be interesting. In the Dolores Cannon books, it says that dream time, we wake up at different levels of consciousness and higher states of awareness. And we do different things. We learn different things. We go and meet different souls that maybe have passed over in this life. But when we wake up every morning, we forget all of that. Because we can only perceive through our brain past experience and the memories that we have. So we don't remember, we don't have a way of interpreting the higher dimensional states of consciousness. So when we wake up every day, we don't remember it. Which I find very interesting. Which also, if you cross-check the Law of One and Bashar, it mentions a similar thing that we do in dream time, where we are eternal spiritual beings having temporary human experiences, but in this life we have this avatar body that we experience reality through. And many times we forget that we logged into the game of life. So one of the reasons for the new earth, according to both Law of One and Dolores Cannon material, is that we had to literally evolve into this next level of consciousness. Otherwise, we would have literally destroyed ourselves. Basically, what was said was that back in early 1900s, there was a call that was put out, and there were what is called 3 waves of volunteers. There's a whole book written about this. The 3 waves of volunteers is written about people that are in the age range of 60s and 70s, that of the 30s, they're in their 30s now, and then the newer generations pretty much born up until 25. There's different stages of different types of souls being brought in that are activated in a different way to be born into this reality to help humanity awaken. And these 3 waves of volunteers happened because back in the early 1900s, there was a call that was put out because the timeline we were on as a species was to destroy ourselves. We were experimenting with nuclear bombs. And what the rule of our reality is, according to the Dolores Cannon material, and I believe the Law of One mentions something like this too, is we have free will here. As a society, we forget who we are when we come into this reality because it makes it more beautiful, then we can remember who we are. But what it is said is that as we went through our life and we were going to destroy ourselves, we are allowed to do that, but we are not allowed to affect other reality systems. And what it is said is when a nuclear bomb goes off, it affects other reality systems. That's a no-no. So what it was said is no, you can't do that. So what it says is Mother Earth. Law of One talks about this, by the way, and Dolores Cannon's material talks about this. Mother Earth is a living being in of herself. We're all connected to it. In Dolores Cannon, it says like fleas on a dog. And if we kept destroying Mother Earth, she would eventually shake off her fleas, which would be us. Even though at a deeper level, we're all connected. And in the Law of One materials, it talks about it as far as logos. They're different archetypal energies, like the sun, like that of Earth. And what happens is we were on that timeline. Souls that felt a connection to Earth decided to come back, knowing it was going to be hard because this is a reality system where we forget who we are and then we have to remember who we are. Apparently in other reality systems, we're born, we retain our memory. We remember, oh, mom and dad, you're this person, this soul connection that I have. We have a connection to other people in our society in a way where it's just there's a knowing there. There's awareness there of who we are at different levels of consciousness. Here at Earth, we forget who we are and then have to go through a process of remembering. But Earth was on a timeline of being destroyed. So the 3 waves of volunteers were different souls that came in, that forgot who they are, that are remembering who they are, that are playing to the game, because part of the game is you forget to remember, and there is a certain game that is being played between the new earth and the old earth, and the old earth is certain people are playing a part to keep us in fear and in anger and in negative and more negative separative reality. And on one hand, we can look at it and say that's bad. We look at the news and the media, which 99.9% is negative, which keeps people in fear, and when people are in fear, they're much easier to control. We can get angry about it. However, here's the thing. They're playing a part. They're playing a part in the game. Doesn't make it right, but it does help us understand they're playing a part. And the part we're playing is we want to wake up. We want to remember who we are. It's interesting, even in society, even in business, I notice there's like an evolution of consciousness that's happening as time goes on, where it is more about unity consciousness, connection, community. There's a different energy on the planet now. The old mentality that used to work no longer works. Here's the interesting thing about all the crazy stuff that's happening in the world. We look at all the crazy stuff that's been happening and we go, wow, it's crazier than ever.
Oh, what's up, wonderful people? Thanks for watching up to this far, man. Honestly, I'm very humbled because you have done so. You see, it is these videos that has passed. It's clear maybe there is a shift in the reality going around us. You see, because things are a little bit different from how they were when somebody like me was born. Anyway, you see, like now there is a video that has passed, which has been that area has been occurring in our previous episodes where some guys were going to check on some giants or something like that. You see, now that video reminded me of sometimes back when we were young. And from this side of the world, English people would come sometimes just to check how people live here and marvel at the beauty of the nature around here. You see, because nature is beautiful here very much. And now when English people would come, you'd be very excited to see them. You see, children would follow them on the roads, you see, just to be amazed by the beauty of God's creation. You see, and sometimes when they would shake our hands, it would be a great deed. We would not wash that hand for almost a whole week and would narrate to the whole family how your hand was shaken by an English person. You see, now that teaches us that we are all humans. You see, despite where we come from, despite the differences in languages, religion, color, and all that, we are still one. And if we appreciate one another just for being humans, just that, for being humans, the world would be better, man. Share some love and caring to those around you. Yo, that way we can move in good vibes. Yo, much love to yourself, man. Watch till the end, good people, and leave a comment there. Smash the like button and spread good vibes.
Hello, and how are you? So I want to share some knowledge with you. And I'm sure by now you are asking, why is this person sharing this knowledge with us? It's because this knowledge, as I was given and how I acquired it, I'm not supposed to keep it to myself. I'm supposed to give it out there to as many people as possible because it is my duty. It is my path to raise the vibration of humanity to be able to wake up from the illusion. So that said, please stop wondering. You have 3 eyes. You have 2 eyes for looking, for helping you go from one place to another and to be able to move from one place to another. But also, you have another eye, which is your spiritual eye, your all-seeing eye. Your spiritual eye is right here. And as we speak right now, a few people, a few people have begun to experience their third eye and to be able to see with the third eye. It is your spiritual eye to help you be able to live and navigate life on this earth, because you are not human. And I'll keep saying this, you are a spirit being. So these are human eyes to help you navigate in the physical plane, which is earth. But you have your spiritual eye. This spiritual eye, you have always been taught by people, entities, organizations, that is an evil eye. Yeah, because they don't want you to find out the truth and how it helps you. Your teachers, your prophets, your pastors, whatever, they will never tell you what the truth is. But the all-seeing eye, which everybody has, it is your identity to connect back to your higher self and who you are. It is your birthright, and you are given that by God, source, or the universe, whatever you want to call it. Therefore, there's so much that you need to learn for you to be able to wake up and to raise your vibration to the frequency of God. God is frequency. God is energy. It's a frequency that is right here in your heart. And this frequency, you have to raise your vibration, raise your frequency, and tune just like the way you tune to an FM station. If you're looking for a radio station you want to listen to, you need to tune to get that frequency, the right one. It is exactly with God's frequency. It is in you. It is you. It is part of you. It cannot be separated. You cannot be separated from God. God and you are one and the same thing. Despite everything, anything that you do, whatever you do, wherever you are in your journey of life, your race, your color, your tradition, your language, every human being has that frequency in them. All they need to do is tune, raise your vibration, and tune to God's frequency. That said, you can see that I'm very careful with what I'm saying. Eh? I don't want to also go deeper so that now you get lost. No. So for you to be able to tune and to get to raise your vibration, and also to be able to operate with your third eye. Your third eye, we have said, it is an all-seeing eye. Once it is open, you are able to see. You are able to see through people. You are able to see the things that are happening around you, and you are supposed to use it for your own development as a human being, to grow and become spiritually mature and to be enlightened. Now there are people who have done this. There are people who have done this, and they have tried and they did their best to make sure they bring this knowledge to you. But some way, somehow, this knowledge was corrupted in the middle of the road, and whatever was introduced to us as African people was religion. But Jesus Christ isolated himself and disappeared. I know you don't like to question that part. From the age of 12, Jesus was hanging out with elders. Elders. Who are these elders? Have you ever asked yourself, who are these elders that Jesus was hanging out with? He disappeared, and he told his parents and his siblings, don't you know that I am supposed to be in the house of my father? Why are you following up with me? I have my own path to follow. And so from the age of 12 to the age of 30, we are not told where this guy went. So what I'm trying to say is, for you to get to the point where you have tuned to God's frequency, you have raised your vibration, you must be isolated. You must be rejected. You must be able to kill your flesh. You must be able to face your ego. And everything in the life of Jesus, of Buddha, of Muhammad, everything is symbolic to try and show you ways and how you're supposed to become this conscious that these people were carrying. They were enlightened, alchemists. They were able, their words were wisdom. They were healing. Their energy could be felt when they arrive in a place because they had raised their vibration to a certain level whereby they are enlightened. And when you are enlightened, you begin to glow. You glow. You just look beautiful. Everything around you is beautiful. You become magnetic. People begin to follow you. People begin to want to listen to you. So the next video that I'm going to do is I am going to teach you how to raise your vibration. And to raise your vibration, first you must understand that you have been created in the image and likeness of God. You are not man, you are a spirit. And if you are a spirit, you must understand and believe in your heart that you are a God. Tutamalizia hapo in the next one.
Oh, positive vibrations till the end, man. Good vibes. Much love to you guys.
Honey, where's the dog? Where is the dog? Max? Max? My husband is a child. Max? Max, where are you? I don't know if he's still in there. Max? Where are you? Oh, there you are. Hi.
Oh, that's very creative.